Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of ISE 2017. We're here in Amsterdam. We're live on the NEC Display Solutions stand in Hall 4. It's stand R24 if you want to come and find us. We're delighted to have with us today a most amazing individual, Mr. Peter Livesey, the founder of Esprit Digital. If you don't know these guys, they're one of the very early pioneers in digital signage and digital out of home. Peter, tell us a little bit how you started in the digital signage space with your escalator panels.
We started about 15 years ago, and we went for an appointment at London Underground because we had some ideas that the paper on the walls at the stations was being defaced and was quite a poor advertising medium, costing people money, and we came up with a digitised solution for them, which eventually we had certified, put them into one station. It was a big advertising success, got lots of press and awards and things, and we were fortunate enough to roll it out throughout London and 5 other metro capital cities around Europe.
And you guys term this the digital escalator panels. I mean, the ones I saw most recently were in Vienna?
Yes, they're still DEPs. It was a laborious term that got coined in CBS way back in the day. The Vienna ones are kind of the, I don't know, probably version 3. We're on 5 now, and that was big part of our thing was just to not just present the screens, but to make sure that the full solution was bulletproof, and that wasn't easy because it was a managed environment inside the unit, so lots of difficult technologies to overcome, heat in particular, moisture, and moisturization, all kinds of difficult stuff that we overcame.
And from there, though, I mean, that was one install in London, but you're pretty much worldwide now. You have installs in the Middle East, Australia, yeah, a lot of Europe. What are the sort of things you're up to at the moment?
It was the most bizarre thing. We did the hardest job as our first project, so everything subsequently, technically, has been very, very straightforward. We've done much bigger, more geographically challenging rollouts, like in Australia, where we did 40 malls in 21 nights with 1,000, large format pods, and that takes some organisation, some project management, and ours is a 360 solution. We're an agnostic integrator. We don't care whose technology we use, as long as it's the right technology for that application at that time for your budget. It gives us a free rein, so if there's new technologies out there, we'll incorporate them if the client wants them.
Have you gone public yet with the NEC solution that you've done?
Yes, the NEC solution is being rolled out as we speak in the malls in Qatar, and hopefully in Dubai as well soon. And that's a 70-inch double-sided advertising pod. And it's really nice. It's incorporating loads of new things like audience measurement, like beacons, eye beacons, our new clear space technologies that stops people putting objects in front of the screen without it warning people. And it's a sexy pod, and then they're already selling loads of ads on them.
That's good to know. Tell us a little bit about your life with shows, because we see you everywhere. We've seen you in Las Vegas at DSE. You've come to New York for our New York Digital Signage Week. You're always at ISE. What's your strategy when it comes to events throughout a year?
Well, because we're a bespoke design technology house, it's always about the next thing. So I normally carry a book around with lots of historic examples of what we have done, and then clients obviously take elements of that, but then they want something new. Everybody wants the next thing, so we kind of start with a blank sheet of paper and incorporate old elements and put in lots of new stuff that's live. And the shows are a great way for me to meet people and open new conversations in new areas. Obviously we've done a lot in the UK. The UK was our bread and butter for many, many years. Now we're 90% export, and we were fortunate enough to win the Queen's Award for export. I went to Buckingham Palace in September, met Her Majesty, and it was a real honour, and that's opened a lot of doors around the world, because people who we'd never even dreamt of are sort of ring us up saying, oh, we invite you to come and have a look at our airport or our mall network or our metro, which is a real winner. And the shows are just a great way for me to keep in touch with the technology that's out there.
I think you told me earlier you had like 10 or 11 people at the show this week?
Yeah, we're here in force. We've got the designers, we've got the R&D guys, we've got our ops guys, and we've got probably 6 sales guys here now.
So I had the privilege of going to Stevenage, I think it was, to see your factory late last year. I think it's running out of time now, I think it's late last year. Tell us a little bit how that came about, because it's quite an impressive facility you have there.
Thank you very much. We needed to move under one roof. We had 2 or 3 different places. It became very obvious that the clients, it wasn't very clear how we did things. Now we're all in one roof, everyone's there, clients come in, you can sit with a designer for an hour as long as you like, you can see stuff going through on the assembly, you can see metalwork being bashed, literally you can see the whole thing, as well as our showroom and accounts, so everything makes sense there, and it's enabled us to really, I think, take the next step and really grow the business.
It really was very impressive. The showroom element of it was as impressive as the production facility, so congratulations on that.
Thank you. We can do, I think, up to 50 large format double-sided totems a week in there, pods. And hopefully we outgrow it sooner rather than later, because that's a lot of stuff.
That's a good problem to have, to outgrow something like that. It means that you're selling something. Now tell us a little bit about the work you did in Australia. I was fascinated on how you managed to install all of the, it was Westfield, I think. You may not be allowed to mention the
there's Centre
customer.
Group in Australia.
Centre Group. How did you manage to install all of those pods so quickly?
Okay, well, it was a challenge, and we had 2 choices. We finished the pods in the UK and shipped them down whole and install them, or we shipped them down piecemeal. We decided on kind of a halfway house where the frames were with glass and all the control panels with all the clever stuff in the bottom was made in the UK and shipped down separately, and the screens came in again separately. And the whole thing came together at each individual site location, which presented some challenges. The biggest deployment was in Bondi Junction, just outside Sydney, which was 83 pods. The centre closed at 8 p.m. By 8 a.m. they were fully digitised with every pod signed off and built in location.
That's a fantastic story. Now, tell us a little bit about today's show, or the ISE show. You've got 11 people here. What's the one thing that you think you're going to come away with? I mean, we've had a number of industry consultants on the show the last couple of days. LED's a big thing, so not any hints, but what impression will you go away from Amsterdam with?
Well, it reinforces my worldview that the industry's growing. It's big success year on year. ISE is probably the biggest show and the most successful, and it seems clear that there's a lot of good stuff out there. The thing I would be putting across to people is that it's a minefield. There's 350 odd LED suppliers that will all try and sell you their kit. Because we're agnostic, it'd be very nice, and what we're doing with our clients is to basically go out and say, look, we'll be your guide. We don't mind. If you like this technology and we can warrant it for 5 years minimum, then we'll integrate it into a solution, deliver it, install it, and support it for as long as you like, on a remote and a physical basis.
Peter Livesey, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Pleasure.